Your president yesterday ended a speech by saying, "God save the Queen."
God save the Queen, man.
The best thing was the White House tried to spin it. They were like, "Oh yeah, he was just making a joke to someone in the crowd." No, he's just old. He thinks she's still alive. No one had the heart to tell him. They were like, just don't, pretend. But that was our motto for a long time. That was what we chose. We'd be like, "God save the Queen." And it didn't work. So because you guys went with "God bless America," which is a better motto, isn't it? That covers everyone. And we were just like, no, just keep one little old lady alive. Just long enough that her son never gets to be in charge.
I would easily argue when the president speaks, people listen and want to hear what he has to say.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. Than anything else? You realize that? The point is, we ask so much of you. So much of you. I've not...
This morning, Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to pretty much nothing. Biden pled to 2 misdemeanor tax evasion charges, then entered a diversion on a federal gun charge. That's it. As far as Merrick Garland's Justice Department is concerned, Hunter Biden is done. There was no pre-dawn raid carried live simultaneously on CNN. There was no perp walk, no handcuffs, no press conference. Above all, there was no felony. Hunter Biden, who broke federal gun laws, can still carry a gun. It's like it all never happened. In fact, the Justice Department just baptized Hunter Biden. A lifetime of sins washed away in an instant. It was a secular miracle.
$1.2 million in tax evasion and you plead to 2 misdemeanors? Give me a break. That's a flat out joke. Go ask Wesley Snipes and some of the other people who had to serve jail time for tax evasion. And don't even get me started on the gun charge. Kodak Black and other people, they got sent to jail for 2 and 3 years for a similar situation. It looks like he's going to take a walk. This is the 2-tier system of justice in our country, which is disgusting. And what everybody really wants in our country is just apply the law evenly.
Fairness.
Doesn't matter if you're Hunter Biden or if your name is Hillary Clinton. Just be consistent.
You saw something we didn't see, and that's that Form 1023. What can you tell us from having been on the Oversight Committee, which has now become maybe the most important committee in Congress? What is it that you saw that makes you think there's something here?
It's very clear that the confidential human source has direct interactions with several people in the orbit of the Burisma executive, contact, whoever, and that has very granular details. The first detail is that the Burisma exec or Burisma person, they refer to Hunter Biden as an idiot several times. They say he's stupid, but we have to have him in because he's the conduit to Joe Biden. They say in the document that there was a reference of, I think the confidential human source goes, well, maybe you should stay away from the Bidens. Maybe you should go somewhere else. Okay, go somewhere else. Go do it another different way. And then Burisma exec's like, no, this is the best way we think to do it. The money essentially has already gone. And that it's moving through several accounts that would take investigators 10 years to find out how it got to Joe Biden. At the end of the day, it's a pay-for-play scheme because they needed Joe Biden in his position as then vice president to put pressure on the Ukrainian government to fire the prosecutor that was looking into Burisma.
I've been looking for pro-Biden reels so I can check out the comment section.
Surely someone out there is making affirmative content about the most popular president in US history. At least one of the 81 million voters surely has to be making something. So I thought. It's difficult to find. Countless videos of him falling on both his feet and his words, and most recently, him copying a feel of Evan Longoria. Almost all the clips I did find are from the White House or federal government and has almost zero views and engagement. And I had to dig deep just to find this. Every time I post a video just mentioning Trump, I get hit from both sides. Tons of comments in support of Trump and a flood of comments of pure hatred for the orange boogeyman. I wanted to know if Biden real comments were the same. So I searched and searched and searched. He is so incredibly unpopular that of the 81 million voters, no one is making any content to support him. Can you believe that? They'll all chime in to say orange man bad, but no one even mentions Joe Biden's name. I did find a lot of Let's Go Brandon though.
This is not about Donald Trump. This is about an entire movement. You know, Hillary Clinton had 33,000 government records, including classified information, at a homebrewed server, and when subpoenaed, she destroyed evidence with hammers, bleach bit, wiped computer servers. Not charged. Jim Comey, fired FBI Director Jim Comey. Leaks, privileged and classified information, not charged. Joe Biden, classified documents everywhere, including his garage next to Hunter in the Corvette. Not charged so far, but come on. This is all about getting a man who leads a movement, and they're coming after all of us next.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can, take everything you own. Everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you've just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they've become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail. Away from my mother, your husband, our families. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives, when you think about it.
Not our enemy.
I believe then, and I'm even more convinced now, that a rising China is an incredibly positive development for not only China, but the United States and the rest of the world. It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. China is a great nation, and we should hope for the continued expansion. We want to see China rise. A rising China can be a significant asset for the region and the world. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not a competition for us. China's not our problem. We can help them with some of their problems. China's not a problem. The idea that China is going to eat our lunch is bizarre. And so, what are we worried about? We talk about China as our competitor. We should be helping.
Do you think, in retrospect, that you were naive about China?
No. What a beautiful history we wrote together.
Thank you for that. Hypothetically speaking, and this is for any of the panelists that would like to answer, if someone were to fail paying $100,000 in taxes and own a firearm when they're a known drug user, would that person serve time in prison?
Having prosecuted hundreds of those cases, I'm not aware of any instance in which a diversion would be granted under DOJ policy, and I reviewed several thousand similar cases and did not see diversion as an available option from DOJ, and each one served on average of 39 months in prison.
Set up a foundation in Ukraine before Ukraine became independent of Russia. And the foundation has been functioning ever since. There is one person who was very deeply involved in Ukraine, and that's Biden. He had a lot more patience than I had in trying to convert Poroshenko into a democratic leader.
But the opportunity to generate a united Ukraine, getting it right, is within your grasp, and we want to be your partner, your friend in the project. We want to, and we're ready to assist.
We're also asking Congress to act promptly to deliver on an aid package, including a $1 billion loan guarantee that can help smooth the path for reform inside of Ukraine. And give the Prime Minister and his government the capacity to do what they need to do as they are all.
We cannot get re-elected. We cannot win this re-election. Excuse me, we can only re-elect Donald Trump.
Mr. Trump?
Humble.
Go over some of the findings from the Durham report. Neither the U.S. nor the intelligence community appears to have possessed any actual evidence of collusion in their holdings at the commencement of the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, indicating that at any time during the campaign, anyone in Trump world and his campaign had been in contact with any Russian intelligence officials. That's directly from the report. You see, the Crossfire Hurricane investigators did not and could not verify any substantive allegations in the so-called Steele dossier. Also from Greg Price on Twitter, according to the Durham report, the plan by Hillary Clinton to create a false story linking Donald Trump to Russia was briefed in August of 2016, keep that date in mind, by then CIA Director John Brennan to President Obama, Vice President Biden, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and FBI Director Comey. So they all knew it was fake political garbage, a dirty smear job on Donald Trump. And that includes the man currently living in the White House, a thoroughly dishonest man who got where he is by blatantly lying again and again.
Last month, a whistleblower brought to light the existence in the FBI of a report, an FD 1023, in which the informant alleges that President Biden and his family members engaged in a $5 million bribery scheme. Is it true that the FBI has a report making those allegations?
I'm not going to comment on that, Senator.
And why is that?
I'm just not going to comment on information we received, investigations.
Do you owe an obligation to the American people to be candid about evidence of corruption by the President of the United States?
This is an area that I'm not going to get into with you, Senator.
Well, I understand you don't want to, and that's why people are mad at the FBI, because you're stonewalling and covering up serious allegations. There are 17 recordings of this informant from Burisma, Ukrainian natural gas company. 15 of them are recordings, voice recordings of him talking to Hunter Biden. 2 of them are voice recordings of him talking to Joe Biden, Deputy Director Abate. Does the FBI have 17 voice recordings laying out evidence of a bribery scheme?
Senator, I would add also that we've worked with the House Oversight Committee.
Yeah, this is the Senate. We're the other side of the Capitol. And to be clear, if the allegations are false, you know who could disprove them? Joe Biden. Do you have a 1023? Do you have the 17 recordings? Yes or no?
I'm not going to get further into this.
Hey, have you not heard anything about what I'm going to show you? So in February 2014, this becomes the new president, total upheaval. They have no money. They're completely broke. And here comes the United States of America in March of that year, President Obama says, we're from the United States government, and we're here to help. So he decides, you know who you need? You know who you can need, because you're very corrupt. This is a very corrupt place, and it is. And we're going to help you, and we got lots of money. We can print it, whatever we want. So we got lots of money, but we've done this before, and we did it with TARP, and we spent all kinds of money. But we wanted to make sure that all of that reinvestment in America was clean, no corruption. And so we put Joe Biden in charge. So Joe is going to be the new point man in Ukraine. Okay, so then